Virtual reality and blockchain are a match made in heaven, but both really aren't quite ready for prime time. Normies are still thinking, it's a scam, it's going to zero, this thing is not fun, I don't like it, makes me feel weird. We really are at an inflection point here in our global society, and things are not going to look the same in 2030 as they do right now. I have a very strong feeling about that. So you're going to want to stick around and watch this episode. We're going to talk about VR as it relates to blockchain, check out the landscape, and we're going to talk about a coin that is launching very soon in the VR space. You're not going to want to miss this episode. I'm serious, man. VR. Blockchain. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Marsh McDan. This is Adapt Crypto, and we are so happy to have you here with us. If you are a first-time viewer stumbling upon this video, you gotta get in the Telegram, you gotta subscribe, maybe hit the like button. I guess you can wait till the end of the episode, or just hit it right now. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Today we're gonna be talking about virtual reality and blockchain and everything that's going on in the space. Okay, so after filming most of this video, I had the great pleasure of talking to the Chief Marketing Officer at NetVRk, and there's just some really bullish, extremely exciting things that I really needed to put in this video. I gotta tell you guys, I was gonna try to like put on the same shirt and pretend that it was the same day or something, but there's just no time. So you're gonna want to stick around to the end of the episode because there's a bunch of information about this project that I don't think is anywhere else on the internet just quite yet. But first, a little bit of just VR background. VR, just like blockchain, has been around for quite some time. And obviously, if you want to get insane returns, if you really want to get those 1,000 million X's, you have to get in when people think it's stupid, when people don't really believe in the technology quite yet. But you have a strong conviction that this technology really is going to change the world. Even in this day, there's a lot going on, but it's still not quite ready for prime time. It's not something that everybody really is going to have in their home at this exact second, but I would venture a guess that pretty soon, at the very latest a decade from now, everybody is going to have their own VR headset because it will just be sort of a mandatory thing, just like cell phones or any of these other technologies. Oh, wait. Sorry. It is a $30 billion market at this time, and they are guessing within just a couple years that this entire market is gonna 6x or more to about $300 billion. So I don't doubt it, honestly. I think this is really catching on very quickly. So if you don't know what's going on, there are many players in the space. One of the coolest ones actually right now is the Vive that works with Steam, and there's a ton of pretty cool games. And the thing that people overlook, I think, about VR is that it's not just about the games, it's about everything else that you can do with this system. You could design cars, you can also play games, you can have virtual meetings for the military, for military training, you can fly a plane, you can do combat missions, you can practice surgery. It really just isn't reserved to just playing games. There are a bunch of next level things already going on with VR. I think this thing's pretty cool. Omnidirectional treadmill, you can actually run around and like duck. So, but who cares about that, right? We're in this for the sick plays, for the sick gains. There are really only just a handful of players in the market right now. Keek or Seek, I'm not sure. I never know how to say these token names. Seek is one of them, and honestly, the space is really undeveloped. Seek has a question mark market cap. It's really unsure. There was a $62,000 volume. The other major player in the space is Senso or Sensorium. Again, with the question mark market cap, this is an interesting project featured in all these big publications, Forbes, Financial Times, Bloomberg, Business Insider. A lot of partnerships with artists, virtual concert experience, virtual content experience. So they have a lot of cool artists actually involved here, but they really do seem to be going to the next level with a lot of the technology. I am actually extremely bullish on this project. This is not financial advice. I want to be super clear about that. None of this is financial advice. Bullish, super bullish. VR, blockchain, I'm telling you guys. But that's all in the past. Those projects have been running for a second. I do want to talk about this thing that has not launched yet called NetVRk or NetVRk. NetVRk. It gives me like a German accent. This is more of a gaming-oriented platform. It is a very interesting project, actually, and is not out yet. So now is your chance to get in on the ground floor with this VR project. I think it's a cool splash page they got going on here, and they do have a powerful team that has been working on VR for quite some time, and they just seem very experienced in this space. I don't want to go through the whole team, but the CEO has been working in VR for quite some time and had another company before this where he was doing VR. So he definitely has the know-how, the experience to get this done, I believe. The white paper is 90 pages, which if you're used to looking at white papers, they're usually not that long. So he really does break the entire thing down. A lot of it is about just VR technology in general, how they're cool guys. Long story short, they're making a play to be the Minecraft of VR, where it's an open world, it's a generated world, so each world is slightly different, and you get in there, you're able to create assets, different elements, even create your own games within this game, all without any coding knowledge. You're able to do this all through waving your arms around. And honestly, I mean, this is in all the sci-fi movies where like they're just like, they got the headset on, they're just poking around stuff, they're doing all the developing that way. Seems to be, at least according to movies, the way that we're going to be doing things in the future. And so any first movers in this space, I'm checking them out. And they have a pretty advanced use for their token already within the game. You'll be able to own land in the game, lease that land, create assets, buy assets, sell assets, do all sorts of stuff with the token. So it isn't just going to be another governance token that has sort of a questionable use case. And I think that's really good. What's going to set certain blockchains apart from other ones is people actually using the token for things in the game, or depending on the project, right? If it's lending or something else, you need to actually have to own the token to use the platform. And I think that's what's going to keep it from just pump and dumping. Here's just a nice little layout that they have in the white paper about all the different things that the token's going to be used for, right? You create the assets, you can trigger those assets in certain ways, then transfer through it. They're using NFTs basically. Again, NFTs, virtual reality, blockchain, like it's all in the same. I've seen white papers that are like 3 pages long and they're like, bro, my token, it's tight. Here's why. Check out the tokenomics. We're not going to dump on you. And they already have put a ton of development into this project, and they are planning for the future. And it's like with all these blockchain projects, if they can get any sort of adoption, if they can get people playing this game and spending the token in the game, developing assets, people selling assets, once the economy of the game actually starts to take off, it will just rip. I can feel it. I don't want to guarantee anything, but since this really is sort of a first mover in the space, I am pretty bullish on it, I'm just gonna say. Okay, so after talking to Daniel Kennedy, it is hard to overstate how ambitious this project actually is and how long it's been in development. They're really coming out of stealth mode right now, but there has been so much effort put into the product itself that it is gonna be so polished when it launches. I really honestly have no doubt. They are really going for this metaverse concept, which we're not talking about Marvel DC metaverse. We're talking about the original concept of the metaverse, which is a combining of all of these different aspects of life into the digital realm. So everything from personal meetings to networking to business transactions to entertainment to education, childcare, everything that you actually do in real life, they are going to replicate here in this digital world. It won't just be an empty, beautiful landscape. This is going to be a thriving place for humanity to actually exist in. One exciting use case for this project would be a trade fair. You can actually have an industry meet here in this space. People can set up booths. You can actually then purchase items from these booths, get new information, and also talk to the people at the booth. Network. You can network at this trade fair that will be in NetVRk. Already that level of possible professional interaction, business to business transactions taking place that's already completely next level, and there really isn't a digital space that's capable of doing that quite yet. In essence, that's sort of an aspect of the digital meeting. I think at this point we are all pretty sick of Zoom meetings. They don't work that well. If there's more than like 5 people in the Zoom meeting, you can't see the people on the square. You don't know who's talking. People are talking over. It's just really frustrating at this point to have digital meetings, and there's really no alternative. But if there was an actual digital space that you could really walk around in, you could listen to a person, you could walk over a little closer, maybe have a little sidebar, I think meetings would be exponentially more efficient in a virtual space. Another really exciting use case would be the virtual museum. There are obviously, like with all of these concepts, there have been other projects that have tried it, but nobody has really quite managed to unify all these things together. So in a virtual museum, obviously you would have your art there hung up, maybe some famous artists, maybe some lesser known artists. All of these things that we're talking about are events in a virtual space where the event would be announced and then would happen. People would rush in, they would experience this thing, and a virtual museum would have these exhibitions, right? You would be able to show up and experience this art maybe for a limited time. Maybe there would be other museums that would be up permanently. But the point with all of this stuff, with all of these different aspects, would be that you would go in and you would be able to purchase these things. You degen, you want to find out how to make money off of this, right? This token is actually going to have a use case. It is going to be used in this digital economy that NetVRk is setting up. Another exciting aspect, I think, would be education and childcare, which is something they are also discussing. So, right, just like virtual meetings for your business, virtual classrooms are really not that great on Zoom. You have the teacher's face and then you have them switching to their screen. So people don't really learn that well that way. Sometimes you want an asset, something that you can actually manipulate and learn from. Sometimes concepts are a little more complicated than that, and you really do need something that you can actually virtually reach out and touch and manipulate. And this is something, again, the NetVRk would be offering. Virtual concerts, I think, are something that will be very exciting for all performers going forward. And yet again, just an event that will generate revenue and excitement and entertainment for all parties involved, right? If it really is a virtual world, maybe there's a guy over here like selling NFTs about that artist. Maybe he's selling some t-shirts that you can get shipped to you in the physical world. This is obviously a heavy lift, all these things we're talking about. So NetVRk is partnering with some absolutely gigantic companies like, and oh my God, it seems like, I don't know, they're just gonna have an endless stream of partners, and they already have so many in the pipeline. It's just, I'm really excited, especially about that last one. So one partnership I can talk about here is their partnership with VersoView. If you don't know what VersoView, it has been mooning a little bit lately, but a very interesting project as well. They are trying to revamp revenue models for subscriptions and advertising, where as with all these things, all the money goes to the giant corporation in the middle, and you spend a lot of money on the ads, you spend a lot of money on the subscriptions, but it doesn't actually go to the content creators or the business. So they are trying to revamp this revenue model, a partnership that they are making with NetVRk. This seems like a very good partnership to have with the metaverse full-on digital life that they're trying to set up here. And this isn't exactly a partnership, but all of these assets, all these things we're talking about, from t-shirts at your show to your painting to your trade show deal, all of these things will be NFT'd. They will be NFTs, and that means you will be able to sell them outside of NetVRk on this digital marketplace, be it OpenSea, Rarible. There's a bunch of them at this point. And lastly, I'm very excited about VR, obviously NetVRk is as well, but it doesn't quite have the mass adoption just in this exact moment in 2021. I think it definitely will in the future. But if you're looking to get your platform adopted right now in this year, you're going to have to go cross-platform, and that is something that NetVRk is doing. Oh my God. So it's worked very well for a bunch of these games that we're seeing up here. It seems at this point, most big games release cross-platform, but it sounds like NetVRk is going to be available not just in VR, but on your PC, on your mobile, and be able to be enjoyed and played in different ways from all of these different platforms. So all of these things coming together just make me extremely excited about this project. I'm just a monster bullish. Anyways, take it away, me from the other day. Another exciting thing about the project, they are not doing this completely alone. They are doing this with the help of Ferrum Network. If you don't know what Ferrum Network is, it's a token itself, but they are also a network of projects, and they have been helping people with pre-sales. They have sort of a pre-built staking farming thing that they can do with their token, but you can also, you need the token to get into the pre-sale for this. So if you are interested in getting in on this pre-sale, you got to pick up some Ferrum, some FRM. But just look at the pre-sales that they've done already. Bondly, Pools, Inverse, Places. These are all been huge. They have been huge projects. And here we see NetVRk is right there on the list. And I'm sure they will be doing more in the future. But that is definitely bullish because it's a heavy lift doing any sort of launch. And there's a lot of launch platforms at this stage in the crypto game. And that just lends them an air of legitimacy. You're not going to get rugged if you're doing a pre-sale with one of these major platforms. So I personally have a good feeling about Ferrum and everything going on there. So that's going to about do it for this episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a good time. Let us know what you think about NetVRk and all the other projects that I talked about today. And if you made it to the end of the video, you should smash that like button. That's just, you watch the whole video. That's what you do when you watch the whole video. You're like, oh, that was a good video. I smashed that like. That's me saying goodbye for Adapt Crypto. And this is not the last gem video. So we will see you on the next one.